I get people up here when Lake Eyre's empty. The Lake Eyre's just got a fascination with people, but when it sets water in it, then it's aquamagnetic. It just wants to drag people up here. We get more tourists flocking up here this year than there are pelicans.
The bird life actually is increasing quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. It tends to be coming down the lake, and what gives it away when it's quite still, you can actually see the movement in the water where the birds are waiting.
In terms of fish life, what's in there at the moment?
There's quite a lot of fingerlings, catfish, bony brim, and also a lot of callop or yellow belly. Talking to Rex Ellis, he was saying that when you go swimming in the Warburton, you can actually feel the fish coming up and trying to bite you for food. So there must be millions upon millions of fingerling fish coming out into this lake and either being eaten by the bird life or just slowly dying from the osmotic effect of the salt.
Is that what happens every time there is this crisis where the fish stocks breed, they come down to the lake and the brine gets them?
That's exactly right. It's a continuous cycle, and if you have a look around after it dries up or after the fish are dead, they actually wash up in numbers along the shoreline, and it occurs with every cycle.
And does that provide food for other animals like dingoes?
Oh yeah, I think they use it scrapping or looking for scraps. You can see some black ducks over here on our right, and this area ahead of us is ABC Bay, looking out on Belt Bay. Towards evening's the nicest time to be out here, and the soft light really accentuates the islands. And because the water is 10.5 times saltier than seawater and 2.5 times denser than the Dead Sea, you tend to get this mirror image occurring because the wind energy required to cause ripples is far higher than fresh water. It's just amazing that the water we're looking at out here has all come from Queensland, and you look at the amount of it and the area it's covering, you really do get a good perspective of how good Queensland is to us with our water system. It's just a shame that we couldn't get more in the Murray. Maybe they need to have a talk to Nick Xenophon at some stage. And it's that story about pelicans falling out of the sky back in the 70s and 80s when they had the big rains and the lake had an incredible amount of water in it. And there's one about someone driving a HQ Holden Ute going down the road, and next thing there's a pelican on the bonnet, and everyone thought it was a fabrication. But there has been documented instances where they're just so exhausted and tried to stay with their chicks long enough that they've just had to fly away in the end, and they hadn't had the energy to actually get to another food source. And you can see emu and camel footprints out into the lake where they'll go out, do a few circles, and either get lost or go back to the shoreline again. Probably the most amazing thing is to see a few emus out in the middle of nowhere, and even in the water you'll see them walking around occasionally as well. You just wonder how they tick sometimes.
Here we are. We're just arriving now at Mungarani.
You can see the waterway down here from the bore. You've got Mungarani Station on your left, and you've got the pub just in front of us here. And the bird life down there around it. It's incredible when you do get water into a situation, how much life does occur.
We're banking right to come back round the station, around the hotel. I'll take it from here, Trev.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll leave it with you, Mike. There we are, we've arrived.